Hey kids, Shua Diesel here. We're going to talk about a few things today. Some of it's going to be different, some of it's going to be kind of the same. Uh, but it should be fun either way. First off, I want to talk to you about the weather in Oklahoma. Because yesterday, it was so cold. Like, I can't even believe how cold it was yesterday. And we have random days that are just freezing. But here I am today, as you can see, short sleeve t-shirt. I mean, like, I walked out of the house with a jacket on, and I was like, oh wow, I really don't need this today. And so, I mean, that's really great. So we're gonna get a little personal today, and talk about believing in yourself. I know that sounds super cheesy. But at the end of the day, what I figured out is if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. Believing in yourself is kind of the key to doing everything. It's hard to go on from there, but it's true. I mean, it's like with this diesel vlog. I mean, I have 11 subscribers now, and I love you all. I really do, just because you guys are supporting me in believing in myself. But there are so many people that will just try to drag you down and try to say, no, you're not going to be good enough to do that. You're not going to be able to do this. You decide what you're good enough to do. Honestly, the whole point behind this diesel vlog is I got on YouTube one day and ran into a couple people who do vlogs, and just thought they were hysterical, but at the same time, there seemed to be a little bit of heart in it. And it's like, well, I can do that. I know I can. So I decided to start doing it. We're going to turn around because there's a wasp that way, and I'm slightly afraid of wasps. Like I said, you can do anything you can put your mind to. So walking past that wasp, I could do it, but I just didn't want to put my mind to it. I'm going to try to shield you from the wind here. So in anything you do, just be sure you're believing in yourself. Nobody else really matters. You don't have to have everybody's support. Unless you're me and have a YouTube channel where you have to have subscribers and those people are your support. But anyways, we need more of you. But just decide what you want to do with your life and go out and do it. I mean, even the work I do outside of this YouTube channel, the work I do with Ophidelis, the work I do with Doobie Lee, nobody said, okay, now we think you're good enough to do this, so we're going to put you on these bands. No, I went to these bands and said, look, I think I'm good enough to be able to help you out in these certain areas. And so I did it, and I was able to sell myself to those bands, and now it's my job to make sure to come through with those promises that I made, and make sure I keep them happy with me. Because, well, I'm not one of those guys that's like, no, you're going to be stuck in a contract with me that you hate. No, it's an open contract. If you get tired of me, you can fire me. Just like this YouTube channel, you can unsubscribe very easily. I've seen it done. I've done it. Okay, but now that we've gotten personal, we're going to get that out of the way. We're going to go back to the stuff that comes to my being into my life, which is music. I've been telling you about some local bands, and I know I've forgotten I haven't mentioned so many of them, and you should listen to them all. I mean, pretty much I've yet to hear a really just bad band. No, I take that back. I've heard some bad local bands. It's like, okay, why don't you go ahead and go back to your parents' garage and work on this a little bit more? But then again, I'm like the harshest judge when it comes to local music. But one thing that somebody asked me is, well, okay, you talk about local bands a lot, but what are some bigger bands that you like, some national bands, or at least some bands that aren't from Oklahoma City? And you know what? There are so many different bands that I love and have loved over the years. Mumford and Sons just rocks my world every time. I think they're incredible. I would kill to see them live. Not really. I don't actually want to murder anybody. Well, no. Uh, but and then MxPx. They've always been in my heart. Since I first really found out what music was for myself and not just listening to my mom's music, MxPx has just always been there, and they always just have the most killer shit. I love pretty much anything Mike Herrera, the lead singer, does. But speaking of MxPx, I guess today is the 15th anniversary of their Life in General album, which, for anybody out there who is an MxPx fan, you know Life in General, and if you don't, then you're not really a fan, because that's like their biggest album. Although, and some people say they're best, but I don't agree with that. I don't think it's their best album, just because they've done some other stuff that I just thought was killer. But it's their most popular album. It's the one that got them the biggest step out the door. Well, step out the door. I'm not even really sure what that means, but it's okay. We're moving along. Keep up. Another cigarette gone out. Happens. But in kind of celebration for the anniversary of one of their biggest albums, they're doing a live streaming acoustic performance tonight. It's at 8 o'clock Central Time, 10 o'clock Pacific, and it's going to be on Stickam, or Stickam, or however you say that, STICKAM.com, and you'll have to actually create an account and go search for MxPx. But really, my career's other band, Tumbledown, did a lot of the Stickam stuff, and I just love it. I mean, literally, you get to be face to face with some of your favorite musicians, at least in my world, and it's just really cool. It's going to be a really good time. I'm going to be on there. I know there are some people I've built relationships through my various social networks that are going to be on there. And oddly enough, I'm really excited to kind of see them again. Randy's going to be there, I'm sure. On Twitter, it's punk_resist. Colleen's going to be on there, I'm sure. Twitter is Weezer_kid. What's with all the underscores, guys? Really. But Dale's gonna be there, because Dale is like my career is forever mediator on these things. But that's MxPx boy on Twitter. And some people, their names are, well, like me, their Twitter names are just their names. Sarah Allspaw will probably be there. I don't know. Carrie Wesley or Carrie W. But these are all kind of my Tumbledown and MxPx people, and my fellow Herrera fans. And don't get me wrong when I call them Herrera fans. It's just fans of all his projects, and we're not just like fans specifically of his, but we all have love for the other members of the band. Tom Wisniewski, Yuri Ruley, and then with Tumbledown, Jack Parker, Harley Troutland, all the guys. God, I feel bad because I know Marshall Troutland. Yes, okay. I don't feel bad anymore. But yeah, those are the members of Tumbledown, and I mean they're all great. So be sure you check them out. Check out the live stream tonight. That's gonna be rocking. But also another band you need to check out is Gasoline Heart. Gasoline Heart, it's this kind of perfect mixture of being a Christian but living in the real world. And I'm opening a box of worms there by calling it the real world. I know I am. But just go with me. Don't open that box. We're not getting into the religious discussion today. Although I do heart Jesus. See, it says so right there. But Gasoline Heart is just absolutely phenomenal. I actually just listened to a couple tracks from them today. He just released a track on I'm pretty sure it was his Bandcamp page. It's I think it's gasheart.bandcamp.com, I think. But he just released a track that he just kind of recorded on the fly on his iPhone, and that's the kind of thing you get from these type of bands, is they're just like, oh, hey, I did this yesterday, check it out, what do you think? But, so Gasoline Heart is absolutely phenomenal. Who else? I talked to you guys a lot about John Moreland, but it's because he's awesome. Andrew Anderson is another guy that I just dig his music. It's kind of a folky country bluegrass-ish, but it's really great, and he's very politically minded, and gets very fed up with kind of the bullshit of the system. Oh, see, I can't even get through a full vlog without cursing. I was trying today. Could you tell? But yeah, he just gets so fed up with the bullshit, and he's actually come and played a couple shows at my house, and which is quite a drive from no matter where he is. At that point, I think he was living just outside of Austin. Now he lives outside in Washington State. Hadn't come back to see me since he moved to Washington. A little bit of a further drive. But he's absolutely phenomenal. I'm pretty sure he's working on a new album. I haven't heard a whole lot from him lately. Well, moving across country, that's kind of a transition. Takes some time. But be sure you check out Andrew Anderson. He's absolutely amazing. Very well-written songs. That's about all I can think of at the moment. And I know Sir Redrick is going to be watching this. Well, I say that. He never watches my vlogs, so I'm okay with that. But if he were here, he would be slapping me and going, what about these guys? And what about these guys? And what about these guys? And I keep trying to get him to do the vlogs with me, but he's just not doing it. And that's okay. He can do that. So we talked about believing in yourself. We talked about music. I think that's what we got for today. So going back to the believing in yourself thing, I got to tell you, the thing I end all my videos with actually came about before I recorded a single diesel vlog, which is a diesel vlog. It's going to be a thing. Tell your friends.